Greetings all and welcome back to another episode of What the Fuck Is A reborG podcast. I am that dude reborG. We back up in here. I had some bullshit going on. Some personal shit I'm not going to speak on. If you know who I am, you know what it is already. So I'm going to just go by that. But the not recording shit is on me as far as not wanting to pay for shit online. Like, I just didn't want to do the shit. And I found the site. I was using Easy Converter at first, but then out of nowhere, Easy Converter was asking me to pay for shit. And I don't mind paying for shit if you got it reasonably priced. And they were talking about $84 right off gate. And I'm not doing that shit just so I can give you, just to upload some fucking audio. I don't think that's fucking fair for real. Don't mind paying, but I'm not paying that much. Now, if they broke the shit down from month to month, no problem. But I'm not just going to give you the 84 outright. Fuck out of here. So I found the site called Tunes to Tube, which helps with easier uploads to YouTube and things of that nature. Cause the live stream shit, I was fucking up. I don't even know how to post the shit after it's done. Some people say you gotta wait 24 hours, and I don't think that's feasible for my fans to wait a whole 24 for the episode. What if I'm doing a pod the day before some shit comes out, and then the pod comes out after the goddamn event happened, and now my prediction look goofy as shit. Whether I was right or wrong, the prediction is coming out after the results and shit, which makes no fucking sense. So I signed up with Tunes to Tube. I got 1 month of as much I can load up for about $5. Just trying out this month to see how well it works, because I tried it for free. And you can only load up about 25-minute clips, and I ain't trying to do that. I'm lazy in that part. As far as stopping this shit exactly at fucking 30 minutes to upload and then stop. I don't want to do the shit in no increments. I want my shit to go all the way through. I don't want parts and shit like that. If you find the shit too long and you want it in parts, I wish I had a fuck to give you out of my pocket, but I don't. I'm not gonna put the shit in parts. It's gonna be the pod as a whole. Appreciate the ideas and such, but I'm not gonna do the shit. You're gonna get this work. You're gonna get all this goddamn minutes of podcast and sometimes hours like this one. This shit gonna be long because I haven't recorded in like a month, maybe even longer than that, because bullshit going on with all that other shit online trying to find it. And just work and shit like that. Y'all already know what it is with the job and shit. That's cool. But, shit is toned down a little bit at work as far as how much we have to do and shit like that. And I understand. Like, it's a company. They just trying to get that money. They don't give a fuck about us. And I don't mind that part. Because, I'm not expecting you to give a fuck about me. I'm not expecting a lot of people in my life to give a fuck about me. Friends and family, the people I fuck with, that's pretty much as far as it goes. Like employees and people who work at a store I may shop at, I already know that you don't give a fuck about me. I'm already expecting you to not give a fuck about me. So I'm just, moving along, just living my life or whatever. That's just how I play it. That's what the fuck it is. You can ask anybody that I work with. I don't have any of their phone numbers outside of the boss. And I think I expressed that before, but I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to get this money, work, and then just go on about my day. That's just what it is. So I don't expect this company to give a fuck about my feelings if I've been working too hard, if I get injured on the job, this, that, and the third. Don't really give a shit. And, on either side. So that's what that is. But we here. We back. I paid for that goddamn program on Tunes to Tube. This shit better fucking work. I will bitch, moan, and complain about my $5 because I don't give a flying fuck. And then speaking of complaining, I found out a couple of months ago, if you have a Sprint account, like Sprint Mobile, you automatically get Hulu with your account, like a free Hulu with your account. Of course it comes with ads and shit, but I don't mind that part. This is like a free, some shit I can watch, because I had Hulu at one time. I've used some, dummy email accounts just to watch some shit I was interested in, like Catch Up with Blackest or Fresh Off the Boat. I fuck with them. Just to check out some of the documentaries that might be on the site. But why in the fuck am I hearing from other people that you giving out free Hulu? Why the fuck haven't y'all sent me an email, a text message, called me, any of that shit? It hasn't even been an offer. I've been a customer of Sprint since about 04. Since like 04, 05. And I've been with the company that long, and they tell you that dumb shit when you call up there. Thank you for being a customer for so long. Then why the fuck am I hearing from the homies that I can get a free Hulu account? Why the fuck haven't y'all got on y'all horse and try to look out for people who's actually been a part of the company? Motherfucker just signing up for a Sprint shit, getting a free Hulu account yesterday. Like, that was some bullshit. And I called them last week, and I was trying to get my shit activated. I signed up for it. I added it to my account. This shit would never activate. It said it's going to send me an email. The email never came. Then it told me, then it had like another activation button. I hit the activation button, and it ended up activating my old phone, my iPhone 6. I'm like, y'all got to be fucking kidding me. So I had to go for a couple of hours without my phone because these motherfuckers done activated an old phone. Why is this phone even considerable? When I told them back in November when I bought my new phone, what is this shit, at 8? I don't know. I don't give a fuck. But when I bought my new phone, I said, take that shit off my record because that shit broke and I don't need that shit no more. Fuck out of here. Why is that shit still on my account to be activated? And why is that shit in the add-on section of my account? Like, it shouldn't be. What the fuck is it even doing there? This shit got me salty as fuck. So I'm calling Sprint because I already knew with the phone fucked up and it being on another phone activated, I knew I had to go to the Sprint store. And luckily I got one around the corner from me less than 5 minutes away, so I wasn't worried about that. I was trying to get this fucking Hulu account. Long story short about this part, this shit, I was on the phone for 5 hours between people calling me from Sprint and chatting with one of the, whatever the fuck they had in the chat room or whatever. That shit was just silly as fuck. Like, I just didn't understand. And the shit, I was on the phone for 5 hours with that shit with no progress. It never happened. It never went down. Every person kept telling me, I'm going to send you a confirmation text. I never got the confirmation text for 5 hours. Guess what happened the other day? Randomly, they send me the shit. Like, what the fuck? Come on, man. Y'all shouldn't be doing silly shit like that. Some companies actually do right by you. Like Verizon Fios, I haven't had no issues. One day I went on the site and paid my bill, but I accidentally paid the wrong amount. And I called up there. They fixed the shit. It was off my account less than a minute after my phone call. And then I went back on the site, did the shit, and everything was fine. Like, that's the way this shit should be working. I didn't get no bullshit questions. I didn't get nothing on my, nothing. No rigmarole whatsoever. Like, they just said what happened. I accidentally clicked on the wrong price amount. Ended up paying this. Didn't want to pay that. I wanted to pay this. They said, cool. Took the shit out. You want to pay it now or do you want to go back on the website? I'll go back on the website. Bam. That was it. I ain't even have to wait that long. 3 minutes. 3 minutes that whole conversation took. From calling, waiting, getting answered, and getting my problem fixed. That's 4 things, and it only took 3 minutes to get all the shit done. Bam. And my account was up to, back up to its right amount, and they took the money out. They put the money back in. Everything was gravy. I mean, 5 minutes of my day, the whole ordeal. 5 hours of my day just to get some free shit that y'all was supposed to be giving me any goddamn way. The shit was annoying. Fuck Sprint. I mean, I ain't gonna go nowhere because they told me they can't. I can't take my number with me if I leave. I've had that number for a long ass time, man. I'm not doing that shit. That's one of the things. Like, people who want, people that I've had homies that moved, homegirls that have moved, and they want to hit me the fuck up. But if I've had the same number since 04, so I'm always accessible. If you looking for me, dial this number in. I'm gonna answer. It's the same shit. Nothing has changed. Just like I had an ex-girlfriend hit me up last week. Just wanted to catch up, say hi and what's up or whatever. She's staying down in Florida. And she hit me up. She's like, damn, I still can't believe that you still got this number. Well, you better believe it, because the shit ain't changing. I'm down with this as my number. Fuck that. And sad news, Sweet Pea Whitaker died, I want to say on Tuesday. I'm recording on Sunday. But Sweet Pea passed. He got hit by a car in Virginia Beach. And If you don't know, Sweet Pea is a Virginia legend and a boxing legend. Olympic gold medalist, multi-titles. If you need any proof on how good Sweet Pea is, just search Max Kellerman, Max on boxing. He gives quite possibly the best. He gave the best, like, I don't even know how to put it. He gave the eulogy and he won't even at the funeral. That's how I've been telling the homies. Like, they shouldn't even have nobody up there. Just wheel out the TVs and let them watch what Max said. Because Max gave a beautiful soliloquy about Sweet Pea Whitaker. And Andre Ward also came on the show and gave up some nice words. But this made me think of when I had the questions episode and somebody asked me top 3 VA sports figures. And I don't think I picked him. And I deeply apologize to myself for that, for fucking up. Because he was like one of the first people from VA to really pop off like that in a big way. Because Sweet Pea was huge. If you haven't watched the fight, please watch the fight. He's just as good defensively as Floyd, but he's flashier with it. Just as fast. He pretty much is Floyd Mayweather during the 90s. I mean, it was different. He didn't go undefeated. He got jerked in a couple of ones. I clearly think he beat Chavez. And I think he beat Oscar De La Hoya. You can even go and look at the stats. That pretty much puts it up there. Not only did he punch Oscar more, he did it with less punch. He did it more accurately, and he was going in. He was fucking Oscar up with that jab. That's when I started to fall off on Oscar. Because I was a fan during the Olympics and when he first started his career and stuff. But I was like, oh, so they just handed him victories? Oh, this is the golden boy for real. Y'all don't give a fuck what happened in the ring. This is y'all boy. And no disrespect to Oscar, because I still respect him as a fighter. Because Oscar, he did his thing in the ring. But Sweet Pea was just that sauce, man. Like, just go back and look, man. It's really worth the watch. Rest in peace to a legend, man. Let's see, man. We got a whole lot of shit to go over. So let us go over. Let us get ourselves this going over shit. If you think you're going to hear anything about the Women's World Cup, this is the only portion. I don't give a fuck. Congrats for winning. That's it. What else we got? Oklahoma, the Sooners have signed another top quarterback. What's his name? Brock Vandagriff. He's a pretty good quarterback. Like, I've only seen him in 7-on-7s and the Rivals Open Challenge, and he can throw a good ball. But I really need to see some in-game footage, see what's up. Because Rivals, they wishy-washy sometimes. Sometimes they'll put all their eggs in the basket for a recruit, and they don't even prove shit. Like, the fact that you can fall in love with a player and they ain't got no pads on, they just out there in shorts and a t-shirt, no. No, we need game footage. And not only do we need game footage, I need to see games against competition. Because if you beating the shit out of your local high school, I can't. Good for you. You suppose you want to win, so you go out there and get the shit. But I need to see that comp. It's smoke time. And don't worry, boy in here, but the window's open. And my neighbors probably hear me doing this podcast and shit, but yeah. Who gives a fuck? But shout out to OU, man. They really pulling in quarterbacks from the transfer market and high schools. See if that work out with them when they get to the playoffs. The Raiders are going to be on Hard Knocks. Really, I'll watch because I love the Hard Knocks episodes. Love the series, And the NFL Throwback Network on YouTube has been uploading the previous seasons. Like, they loaded the first season with Baltimore. I watched that, and I don't know if it was the second season. It might have been the one with the Dallas Cowboys when they was real buns, when Quincy Carter was starting, and Chad Hutchinson, they was thinking about starting him, and he ain't played like football in like 6 or 7 years. Ooh. Dave Campo was the coach. Campo was better fit as a coordinator other than a coach. Like, great coordinators like North Turner and Wade Phillips. Y'all know what that is. But I just want to see what it is. A lot of people are getting hyped because the Raiders have been in the news with, some of the moves they've made, the Burfitt pickup, the Incognito pickup, getting Antonio Brown, 3 first-round draft picks. So it's storylines. They ain't got to worry about that shit. Like content, none of this shit is gonna be filler. Not at all. Like, they just loaded up the Jets one, and I watched the first 2 episodes, and then they was talking about Rex Ryan eating M&Ms. You ain't got to worry about that shit up there with the Raiders. It's enough with the players alone. Like, just with the players alone, you have enough. But then you got to add the coach, and then you got to add the organization, because I know they're going to talk about the organization, because the Raiders, long-standing organization, had one of the most rogue owners of all time, and not just football, but sports, and Al Davis, and just, it's a story to tell, so that'll be entertaining to watch. There's been a lot of fighting going on. Like, been a lot of, and I ain't talking about that bullshit at Disneyland. I'm talking about boxing and MMA. In the boxing world, just last night, Pacquiao beat Thurman. Thank God. I've been waiting for Thurman to lose for a minute, because Thurman has been ducking, dodging, and bullshitting. He ain't had a fight in 2 years. When he found out the power from Danny Garcia, he ran. And he won't even it won't even the run, because it's not running on the Mayweather tip. Because a lot of y'all say, you don't do nothing but run. This is what Mayweather does. He goes in there, bop, bop, I'm going to get these 2 shots. You shook. Now you just throwing wild because you think I'm in front of you. But this defense, you'll never see it happening. That's the purpose of boxing, to hit and not get hit. He not running. He getting out of the way of punches. How smart is he to stand there and take blows from somebody? He's not a Philadelphia fighter, so don't expect him to. Not Garcia, but Thurman, Keith Thurman. Oh, no, that's running. He ain't even trying to land a clean shot. He gonna hit you in the forearm, and he gonna get on roller skates on your ass. And Pacquiao fucked him up. If you don't believe me, you don't even have to look at the highlights. Look at the post-fight interviews. He was fucking Thurman up, bloodied his nose, got a knockdown. Thurman's face, if you look at the interviews, is red as fuck. And Pacquiao just, normal, small, happy-go-lucky self. And this throws another wrinkle in there with Pacquiao being the champ. Who else will he fight between this welterweight and middleweight class? Because I've been waiting on this welterweights to get it together. And they finally scheduled a good fight with Errol Spence and Sean Porter. That's going to be a good one. I can't wait to see that one. That's something to look forward to. It's not Errol Spence versus Terrence Crawford, but this will do. I'll take it. The heavyweight division is, flourishing with Fury getting his TKO win against a bum. Andy Ruiz getting his victory over Joshua, what's the old boy name? Deontay Wilder just still sitting out there waiting for somebody who want to actually fight him, which I think is some bullshit. Don't be afraid to catch them bombs. Go out there and box. Fuck it. I need more of that. Lomachenko's got another fight scheduled, but it's not against anybody. Unfortunately for Lomachenko, his division isn't that good, so it's not like he's gonna have a lot of quality opponents. Not good, but quality opponents. They're not gonna be in there like that. We're gonna have to wait till Gervonta Davis gets up his resume, I guess, or whatever the fuck he has to do to get to Lomachenko. You probably could schedule the fight now, since Davis talk all that shit. Might as well make it happen, but we'll wait. Mikey Garcia should be coming back. That's the fight they should be scheduling between those 3 to make it happen, because the ducking and all that other shit is just a little uncalled for. And what else we got in boxing? Was there some other shit in boxing? Nah, it wasn't no other shit in boxing. In MMA, Chael Sonnen retired. Chael Sonnen is one of the great MMA fighters on the mic, and a pretty good fighter, for real. And he had put out reports that he wasn't going to retire until he won a championship, and he lost the fight to Lyoto Machida, and he retired right afterwards. So I always thought Chael Sonnen should go to the WWE, because with his speaking abilities and his mic skills, he could really make some shit happen. He could make some money in the WWE just by talking shit. And you've seen how Ronda Rousey does. she's blown the fuck up with wrestling, and they didn't even like give her like a year to learn the shit. They just threw her out there. So trial by fire, and I've heard she's getting better. Cause I don't watch a whole lot of product from the WWE. Nothing against them. I played the game. I enjoyed the game. The story mode was lit. But as far as watching it live, I'll watch some highlights, but I skip hers. Mainly most of the most of the women shit. But they do have some. I heard they have some good female wrestlers, so I might check it out one of these days. Somebody else got their ass whooped. Amanda Nunes kicked the shit out of Holly Holmes. And Holly Holmes caught her first. She had her first knockout loss. God damn, which shows how strong her chin is from all them years of fighting. Because Holly Holmes has a resume of fighting in kickboxing and MMA, and it shows just how dangerous Amanda Nunes is. Wow. Maybe now Dana White will promote her as the best female fighter of all time, since he doesn't have like any respect for her and doesn't put her out on Front Street like he should. God damn it. You don't even have to make her do interviews and shit like that and have her doing public appearances. Put her on the poster. I mean, god damn. Fuck. She hasn't headlined a poster in a minute. She co-headlines. She the small picture underneath, the shit. But shout out to Amanda Nunes. She had like a dude. She fucking him up, and I hope the reign continues. And then that same card, John Jones won. He got scared of that. He got scared of that power. I can't remember old boy's name right off top, but unfortunately he caught an injury and he tore his whole knee up. ACL, MCL, PCL, and meniscus. Like the whole knee was fucked up. So, but he bombed on Jones in a couple of times in the fight, and Jones figured it out. And Jones kind of was the smart idea to keep his distance, and he didn't try to exploit the knee for real. Like, he gave him some leg kicks every now and again, and the fact that dude was fighting with a torn knee, just heart. I'm so sorry that I forgot homie's name. I really apologize for that, because he is a good fighter, and he will be back in light heavyweights to let him know if he can get over the knee and shit, because sometimes that knee shit is real mental and people have a hard time getting over it. But it was a good fight. Wish dude was healthy, so it would have been an even better fight. But Jones he's probably one of the greatest MMA fighters of all time. So even with that cheating ass eye poke and all the shit that he's done, the scandal and all that other shit, he's just great. So that was a hell of a fight. Tony Ferguson beat Cowboy Cerrone. And Tony Ferguson has won 12 fights in a row, and none of them have been title fights. Like, come on now. Come on, Dana White. Come the fuck on. How much longer does this dude have to keep beating up opponents? When is he going to get his title shot? Let's be real. Excuse me. Goddamn, I'm not here fucking up. When is he going to get his title shot? That is completely fucked up that dude has not gotten the title. 12 fights in a row? Sometimes all you need is 3. Sometimes all you need is 2. Sometimes all you need is just 1 fight. He's giving you 12 and have won them handedly. Please, man, stop disrespecting Tony Ferguson and give him a belt, man. Give him a title shot, for fuck's sakes. In the heavyweight division, Francis Ngannou knocked out Junior Dos Santos. Ngannou, he's like the MMA version of Deontay Wilder when it comes to those bombs. He's a lot cleaner fighter than Wilder is, but Ngannou, he bombs, and if he catches you, those knees will buckle, and he does his fucking thing, man. Shout out to the dude, man. Hope he gets that title shot versus Miocic, but I think is Stipe still? Yeah, he's still the champ, but I think he got a Cormier rematch coming up, so we can see about that one. And in the knockout of the year, Jorge Masvidal knocked out Ben Askren with a flying knee. God damn. He starched them. And the starch is when people's arms and legs get stiff when they're laying on the ground after they get knocked out. That's what happened. He knocked him what we call the fuck out. And Masvidal has been beating people up, and it's almost time for him to get a title shot too, but he probably won't. Because Darren Till was looked at as one of the best stand-up fighters in the MMA, not for just his division, but in all of UFC, and Masvidal mowed through him like like ran through him like Killer Mike through them walls in that action video. He just ran through him. Ugh. Masvidal deserves a title shot, but he will probably have to fight somebody, a guy, Leon Edwards, black guy from the UK, who scored a good fight yesterday against Dos Anjos. And they got in a fight backstage a couple events ago, and I think he gave Edwards that work, and Edwards called him out. So we shall see, because Edwards hasn't had a title shot either, and he got 7 wins in a row. Like, what the fuck do you have to do? Because Masvidal, after he beat Askren, that knee was fucking serious, man. Make sure y'all tube that. That shit was real. After he beat him, he called out Conor McGregor, and Dana White, oh my God, protecting his baby, said, I'm not going to let it happen. McGregor doesn't need to fight 170. I'm not going to allow it. He can fight 170. He will fight 170, but I'm not going to allow it. What, you scared for him to lose again? He can't be a cash cow because he ain't done shit. He ain't fought in a minute since Khabib whooped him. It's been a long time since he done been in that octagon. Let's stop babying him and go ahead and put him in that ring. I don't know what the fuck you waiting on. Because, I mean, it's not like you losing money. You still get money because people want to see the fights. You have great fighters that you don't really promote like that. Not as much as you will in McGregor. And I understand that he adds value because of his mic skills and how he hypes up fights and the shit talking and all that. But you got champions you don't stand behind as much as you stand behind him. And it's time for him to go out there and fight. I don't give a fuck if it's against a nobody or if you're going to give him another title shot in another division. But come the fuck on. Same thing goes for Khabib. It's time for Khabib to fight too. That Conor fight was a minute ago. You the champ. It's time to start defending that belt. And I think he got a fight next week. So let's go ahead and get cracking with that shit. Let's make that shit happen. We all over the place because there's a lot of news I got to cover, and I'm over here with my fucking notes. And at the end of towards the end, the last thing I'll talk about is the NBA draft, some of the summer league, and the off season, which has been fucking madness. So if you plan on waiting that long, just click towards the end so you can get to that part, because we got other shit that we got to go the fuck over. What else we got going on? In football news, Tyreek Hill will not be suspended. The NFL has, said he hasn't done anything wrong and he will report to camp, which is fucking crazy for the Chiefs because they made some great moves in the defense by adding Frank Clark, the Honey Badger, Steve Spagnuolo. I probably spoke about it beforehand, but that's just crazy. And adding Tyreek Hill back to that offense, it really doesn't matter. When it comes to the offense and Andy Reid, he going to put up points. He's one of the greatest offensive play callers that in my lifetime that I have seen. So they going to put in work, plain and simple. And as a Raiders fan, fuck, because we got to play them twice. Let's see what else we got. We going to be hopping all over the damn place. The NCAA came out and said that there will be allegations coming for Auburn because a month ago, an NCAA official said there's some major violations that's getting ready to get called out on some major basketball teams. And it's getting ready to get ugly for some of them. And I just hope it ain't Duke. I hope all of Duke's allegations come out after Coach K retires. Make it about 2030. If you can save it till then, I'll be good. They got that, and the NCAA also said they're gonna make transfer waivers a hell of a lot tougher because y'all saw the influx. The NCAA was like free agency this past spring with everybody going everywhere, and y'all can thank Brew McCoy for asking for a transfer waiver so he could play for Texas after he committed to USC, was already on campus and everything, went to Texas, didn't like the shit, and asked for another transfer waiver to go back to USC. God damn. So when shit gets fucked up, y'all know who to blame. Point the finger at him and only him. In college basketball, Quentin Grimes went to Houston, transferred to Houston. I guess he didn't like it at Kansas. And Quentin Grimes had a good couple of games when he initially got to Kansas, but it didn't he didn't seem like he was a part of the offense. It just tailed off. And he's a talented kid. He's got a real D'Angelo Russell type of game. And I don't know what the fuck happened at Kansas. Kansas is just, they sinking. Like, shit just ain't looking good. And Blackshear from VTech decided to transfer to Florida. And Florida also picked up the guy from Cleveland State, Appleby. He averaged 17 points a game, so that could always help. Let me see what else. We got some other shit. College football, John Harbaugh throwing shots at Urban Meyer, telling him there's always been controversy behind him. And, I mean, he talking shit, but to be honest, he ain't lying. So, it's not like he telling a fib right now. Urban Meyer has had some shit happen everywhere he has been, except Bowling Green, I think. But, it's... that just come with it. But you can talk all the shit you want until you beat Ohio State. It ain't really much that you can say. Because that's crazy how your job depends on beating one team. That's crazy. Because I can't remember the guy's name from UCLA. He had some decent seasons at UCLA. Jim Neuheisel. He had some decent seasons at UCLA, but he couldn't beat USC and he got fired for it. That shit is crazy. Because it's not like that for, like, some other rivalries, like the Miami-Florida State rivalry. Like, nobody has been fired because they couldn't beat them, Miami had a run about 3 or 4 years where they beat Florida State. That's back when they let Chris Ricks be the quarterback. And Bobby Bo didn't get fired. And nowadays, other coaches have been fired from the U, but it's not because of the Florida State series. Like Al Golden got fired because he just didn't have it as a coach or as a recruiter. That's not his set. He more based out of the Northeast. He should either be an NFL assistant or a head coach in the Northeast where he really made his bones at. And then Mark Richt just retired out of nowhere. I don't know what the fuck happened, but we'll see Manny Diaz, see what he can do. Because Miami's got the first game of the year, the first real game of the year. I want to say the 24th against Florida. So we shall see. There's a college football preview coming out soon, since we towards the end of July. So we getting ready to do our thing with that one. What else we got? We got to look at some shit. Oh, and baseball. Didn't watch the All-Star game. Didn't really give a shit. I watched the home run derby. And shout out to Pete Alonso from the Mets for winning. He took a steady pace, did his thing, made sure, let me get enough just to move on to the next round, which is a smart play. Because he didn't hit over more than 20 plus home runs in each round. And he ended up being the winner. Vlad Jr. hit 40 home runs in one round, and he still ended up losing overall. It was a great display of Vlad Jr.'s power because just like his pops, wherever the ball is, it can leave the park. Like, pitch location really does not matter. Like, I've seen Vlad Sr. hit balls that bounce on the ground, and his son has the same damn power. But it was good to watch. Was real salty that he didn't win, but shout out to Pete for doing this thing. And this past weekend was the Baseball Hall of Fame. Shout out, rest in peace, Roy Halladay, who died 2 years ago in a plane crash. Great pitcher for the Phillies and the Blue Jays. Couldn't win one, but he did his part for the most part. Mike Mussina, the great pitcher from the Orioles. Edgar Martinez, the hitting machine from the Mariners. Harold Baines, he was like a 6-time All-Star for the White Sox. That's how lit the 90s was. Like, Harold Baines had to wait a couple of times before he got in. And the headliner, Mariano Rivera, who's the all-time leader in saves. And apparently he was a great leader because A-Rod came out and said he really didn't speak on things publicly, but in the locker room, he was the guy who was putting everybody in their place, including him. I said, wow, that's what's up. And he been on the Yanks for so long and been doing so much winning. They don't have any other choice, but, you got to respect the dude that's performing on the field. I mean, you just have to. If you don't, you want some bullshit. But shout out to him, man, for doing this thing. Shout out to the Baseball Hall of Fame. Barry Bonds will probably never get in. Even though he is the all-time home run leader, I don't think any other Roids guys will get in, or Pete Rose, because it won't like Pete was gambling for his team to lose, gambling against his squad and fucking up and throwing games. Pete was betting on his mob and going out there and giving 110%. So let them dudes in the hall, man. I mean, fuck it. Hey, it's y'all fault that they didn't get caught. Like, baseball had a steroid epidemic. And epidemic means you let that shit go on for far too long and did not give a shit. Bud Selig in the MLB. Cut it out. Let them dudes in there. Because it wasn't like it was like one or two dudes on roids who did extraordinary things. There's a lot of motherfuckers on steroids. So it's not like it was an uneven playing field. It was for the couple of guys like Griffey who didn't. Or Ricky Henderson, because they said Ricky Canseco, when he was, informing everybody on who he knew was taking shit, he said Ricky was all natural. So, I mean, it's unfair to them, but they were still able to make a name for themselves and be greats in baseball without the shit. So, speaking of talking shit, Alabama's talking shit about Clemson, not wanting to give Clemson their respects for beating them. Dylan Moses came out and said we didn't prepare well and all this other bullshit. Stop making excuses. You fucking lost. You got your ass whooped. For such a great defensive coach and a great defensive team, y'all let a true freshman go out there at quarterback and carve your ass up like a Thanksgiving turkey. You take your fucking loss like a man and you work towards getting them wins next time. I don't want to keep hearing no bullshit about all them excuses you making about why you lost. You fucking lost. Take your loss, man the fuck up, and try to see if you can meet their ass back in the chip this upcoming season. I don't want to hear that bullshit about everything we won't prepare. No, man, y'all got y'all ass whooped, okay? Clemson's a great fucking team. Offensively, they have everything that you need, and defensively, they had 3 of their defensive linemen going the first round. So, fuck out of here. You just got beat by a better team. Plain and simple. Cut it the fuck out. Now is the meat and potatoes of this episode here. I will be going over the draft that happened last month, and I will be giving you tidbits on whether I like to pick up for the team, a little bit about the player, and going from there. And if they did play summer league, how did they look? All right, number 1 pick, the Pelicans, Zion Williamson. It was good to see. This is one thing I'm gonna say about the number 1 pick. You shouldn't get as many chances. Like, I don't want to see Cleveland get a top 5 pick for the longest. They don't need the shit. They don't deserve the shit. You fucked it up. Since 03, then I had LeBron, Kyrie, Anthony Bennett, and I think they had another one that they traded. They had Wiggins that they traded. It's not the league's fault that you fucked up on all that. All right, tighten the fuck up, get it together. And the Pelicans, y'all need a break too. About a 6 or 7 year break. Now, if you fuck up with Zion as far as letting him go somewhere else and stuff like that, that's on you. We don't keep rewarding you for being a bad team and making bad decisions. We just not gonna do the shit. But they picked up Zion Williamson, and they had an offseason where they picked up Lonzo, Brandon Ingram, and Josh Hart, which puts together a nice team. They will be a team that I will watch. Lonzo will get the ball and be told to lead and run, because that's Alvin Gentry's game. Alvin Gentry likes running gun, up and down game, and a pick and roll with Zion, or him cutting to the basket with Lonzo, because Lonzo he's always been able to pass. He just hasn't been the point guard. It's always been somebody else that handled the ball handling duties. And with Lonzo and Drew Holiday, that's a good defensive backcourt where they can flip-flop and they can just be whatever. Brandon Ingram had a decent year last year, just, the injury bug hit him. Same thing with Lonzo. You got to stay healthy. It's not something that you could just magically do, but, we can't put you in positions of greatness or put you in conversations of greatness until, you're able to play the game. That's one of the reasons why LeBron's legacy is so crazy, because he played 15 years before he even caught an injury that actually sat him down. His durability and ability to play through injuries is fucking masterful. That's why he's a great. That's why he's in the GOAT conversation. That's one of the reasons. But Zion, just a giant motherfucker, and he looked fat at the damn summer league. He played one game, he banged knees with somebody, and they sat his ass down. It looks like the Pelicans are all in on trying to keep this superstar. But he should be a good look. They got a team that you'll want to check out, that I'll want to check out definitely. I'll find one of my legal websites to go on so I can watch that. Pick number 2, the Grizzlies pick Ja Morant. This guy, he's a super bouncy, athletic point guard with dish and finishing ability. Not a great shooter at this point, just a decent shooter, and he'll improve. And just adding him to Memphis with Jaren Jackson Jr., you can do a pick and roll and a pick and pop because Jaren Jackson can, he can float to the basket. He banged on a couple of people, and he has a decent three-point shot. And with Jonas Valanciunas, I mean, Memphis look like a decent team. Like, with these picks, with the Pelicans and the Grizzlies, with what they've already built outside of the draft, they look like they can at least float around 500 the first year. The things are looking up. Ain't nothing worse than when you draft a player and you still going to be ass, Cleveland. And I'll get to y'all in a second. But things are looking up for the organization. The Knicks drafted R.J. Barrett. He's just not a good passer. He's not a good facilitator. He has an alpha dog in him. He has a score-first mentality. Sometimes it works out in his favor because he had great games at Duke, and he was leading Duke when Zion got hurt. Sometimes it doesn't work in his favor, like the pass he should have made against Gonzaga when they lost at the Maui Invitational, or the pass that he should have gave up when Duke lost to Michigan State. Like, both of those plays are epitome of what he does wrong. Sometimes, he gets that one-track mind, and your teammates don't fucking matter. And he did it in the first game in the summer league. He made a good move on the baseline. He was driving the baseline, and the defense collapsed on him. He had a teammate in the corner open for a saucy three-pointer, and he just threw up a bullshit layup and fucked it over, lost the ball, didn't even hit rim, and they rebounded and they ran the other way, which, you don't know if the guy's going to make it or miss it, but help feed his confidence and give him the ball so he shoot it. If you're the superstar of the team, already, they're going to put you in position where you're going to be one of the options. You're going to get the ball. You're going to get your chances, especially in the summer league. This shit is all about you. But help out the other guys. You get this guy to hit this three. It can, build up that confidence that he can shoot, and it will be no problem. But I mean, there was a couple of situations he was just missing like shit, trying to force the issue. There's going to be some growing pains with him, but I think once he gets acclimated to the game, I don't know how long that will take, but, I think he has a chance to be a 20-point scorer in this league with no problem. He's just going to have to find a way to be efficient in his scoring. Pick 4, the Hawks, what they got from the Pelicans. After the Pelicans got it from the Lakers, picked up DeAndre Hunter, and I think that's a good pickup. With the lineup that, what's the name of this team? The lineup that the Hawks have, it looks pretty good. It's pretty decent. With Collins, Trae Young, and Hunter, you got some nice building blocks. Just put some nice vets around them. Make sure the coach can actually coach. And, things will look up. That's what I'm saying, like, with that. And as far as the Knicks, I'll talk about them in free agency. Pick 5, Jared Culver. He went to pick 5. Hold up. The website even got it fucked up. Pick 5, Darius Garland went to the Cavs. And Darius Garland, now I'm getting ready to compare him to somebody, and that doesn't mean they play just like them. They will have the same career, and you should expect them to be like them. No. It's just a nice little overview of their game, what you can expect from them. And Darius Garland has a real Stephen Curry type game without the assists. But Stephen Curry is still a decent passer in the league. Darius Garland hasn't gotten to that part yet. Good shooter, has a nice shot, even with his small frame, shows that he can score in the paint. Not at a high clip, but at a good clip. And this is just a confusing pick because they already got Colin Sexton there. You already got a ball-dominant guard, so you bring another one in there. Are you going to play both at the same time? They're both not known for being good defenders. But, I don't know what the fuck Cleveland is doing, and this is part of the reason why they do not deserve another number one pick. I like Garland as a player. I just don't like his fit with the team. Pick 6, the T-Wolves grabbed Jared Culver, which is a good pickup. Jared Culver has one of those multifaceted games. He can play some defense. He can handle the ball. He can drive. He got a decent shot. I mean, he didn't look good in the national championship because DeAndre Hunter is that damn good of a defender that he made it real tough for him. But Culver can do some things. Now, I see that the T-Wolves are interested in trying to get rid of Andrew Wiggins because all them empty-ass points and shit like that is not a good look for the franchise. Don't you wish you had kept Jimmy Butler? Probably couldn't have kept him because he was fucking with Cat too. So, I don't mind you paying a player, and I don't mind a player getting paid. Get that money. Get that bag. You deserve it. You worked thus far to even be considered for it. Shout out to you. But you got to think about it first. What has Wiggins done to earn that money? Average 20 points? Really? Is that enough? You can get some numbers, and I respect that. But this team ain't got no better. The team has not got better. The team got rid of Jimmy, and they lost, took a step back. That's why you drafting Jared Culver, because these poor decisions you making with some of these players. I don't have nothing against Cat, but he can hoop, and he has some weakness in him, like crying for making the All-Star team when you made it last year. The dude, relax, man. It's not. Just calm down, man. You're gonna be in this shit. You could play basketball, okay? It's very plain and simple. You were was he the number one pick? Yeah, you were the number one pick. You were a top 5 player in high school. None of these accolades should be new to you. All right, it's not like you can't hoop. But I like Culver there. But with the T-Wolves, it's a wait and see. Is Wiggins going to be the same inefficient dude? Is Cat not going to be able to lead the team? Because they need the wins. At number 7, the Bulls got Kobe White. And Kobe White looked good in the summer league. He showed pretty much what his game is. Kobe White get buckets, plain and simple. Ain't no other way around it. Kobe White gets buckets, and that's what he's gonna do. Now I think the Bulls should have had picked up a facilitator, somebody who can not get as many buckets but got a dish game. And Kobe White, he's decent as a facilitator. He's okay, but his number one priority and job and what he's best at is scoring. And that's what he did in the summer league. I kind of wish he went somewhere else, but, shout out to my homie Paul Chan. He a Bulls fan. Like I said, the team is looking decent. And this is one thing. This is what about the dedicated fanship that I respect about him so much. He watch Bull games, period. He don't give a fuck who they playing. He's one of those fans that I respect to the fullest. He's going to watch every game. He's going to support every game. Every minute counts. I don't give a fuck who they playing. They could be playing the Suns, and this win means nothing on either side because they both stink. But he's all in. But he also is not delusional, thinking that his team gonna win the championship every year. He know what the fuck is out there, so he knows what's up. So shout out to P. Chan. That's my number one fan on this podcast. I always root for the Bulls because of you, homie. Number 8, the Pelicans picked up Jackson Hayes, which is a good pickup. Run to the rim. Young Tyson Chandler type game. Y'all saw him in the summer league. He was real ignorant with that athleticism and dunking on dudes. So, it's looking real good. Lonzo has a lot of people he can do some pick and rolls with on the half court set that he should be fine with on top of running. The whole team can run at this point. And with some of the free agent pickups they made, I will dabble in that later. This shit is fucked up. This shit is... I don't know who put together this shit. This is NBADraftRoom.com. But some of this shit they done fucked up on. Let me go back, because I got the... some of these picks was wrong. I know damn well that you didn't do this shit. And the fucked up thing about some of these draft shits is that they still got the original pick up there. We don't give a fuck who they picked originally. Who the fuck did they pick up Who the fuck did they pick up in the some of this shit is just so fucking confusing. Like, I'm really lost on this shit. This is fucking crazy. Like, give me 1 second so I can fix this shit. 1 second. Alright. Pick number 9. I had to go find a real draft shit because NBA Draft Room had Sekou Demboy up there. I was like, is this shit still a mock? I could be really out here fucking up. God damn. Tighten the fuck up. I'm looking up real draft results and Google keep giving me mock drafts. I'm like, give a fuck about the mock after the real draft happened. But back to it. All right. Number 9, the Wizards pick Rui Hachimura. Shout out to Rui, man. I like his game, man. My boy Prince called him Baby Blueface, but the guy's got a good game. He's improved every year he was at Gonzaga. Inside, outside game. Anything for the Wizards is a look up. Like, they could, any player is a good look. Because John Wall going to be hurt for a minute. Bradley Beal wants to fuck out. Then what else do you have? We don't know. Because they got rid of Dwight Howard, too. So, y'all still got Marcin Gortat. Number 10, the Hawks. They picked up with a trade. They picked up Cam Reddish. Good hooper. I like the way the Hawks are looking. Because Cam Reddish is a good look. Now, the good thing about this is that with the star players for the Hawks, Trae Young liked to dish the rock. So, Cam got a chance to do his thing. It's not like at Duke where, he didn't fit. Plain and simple. That's the best way I could do it without going through the explanation because I've explained it plenty of times. He just doesn't fit. He didn't fit with Duke. Picked the wrong school. I said the shit early. And with this team, he has a chance to because he can get the kicks from John Collins and maybe, I'll put it this way. If Cam don't have the ball in his hands, he's going to be ineffective. Plain and simple. He's not a spot-up shooter. He can be, from time to time, like a standstill shooter, but he can't base his whole game off that. He got to get the ball in his hands. At number 11, the weird pick, the Suns got Cam Johnson. Now, shout out to Cam Johnson. Pretty jump shot. Probably the best three-point shooter in the draft. But that's not what the Suns needed. The Suns, I think this pick was more or less trying to get somebody that complemented DeAndre Ayton real well. And they didn't see, I guess they figured they were going to go to free agency for their point guard because Phoenix needed one. So that's what that is. Good pickup, though. I mean, I wouldn't have got him at 11. I would have waited, probably traded back to get him. But he helps the team. At 12, the Charlotte Hornets pick P.J. Washington. Now, let me put the disclaimer out there. Shout out to P.J. Washington because you were a second-round pick in last year's draft. That was the overview. Like, he went to the combine and all that stuff, and everybody said, you're not a first-round pick. So he went back to school. He worked on his game. He showed he could shoot. He showed he can lead because he was Kentucky's best player. And he worked his way into the lottery. I just didn't want him at Charlotte because this is the same boring-ass, safe, not a wild pick that Charlotte has been doing because you could have picked anybody else. I would have took Romeo Langford, Nickeil Alexander. I would have took Brandon Clark. I would have took Nasir Little. I would have took Kevin Porter. A lot of other players that could have been used because with the free agency, I knew Kimball was gone. I will speak on that, but I'll just leave. For this part, I'll say Kimball was gone. You got to put something out there that people actually want to see. No offense to P.J. Washington, but I don't see him selling no tickets. Because Jordan's not going to go over the luxury tax to pick up free agents. So you got to get those. You got to bring a wild type player. You have to. P.J. Washington does not have me excited to go into any Hornets games. And I don't plan on it. Depending on who they play. I'm going to try to make one as a fan. But I don't. Good player. Not the right team. I'll go to the next one. 13, the Heat picked Tyler Hero. They wanted some shooting. I couldn't even tell you no shooters right now for the Heat. Not outright. Justice Winslow is more like a point forward. Goran Dragic can score, not officially. Bam Adebayo is an at-the-rim player. Got rid of Whiteside. I'll speak on that later. Got rid of Tyler Johnson. Josh Richardson's gone. So I really don't know no other shooters on the team. Olynyk. But you don't want your best shooter to be a big, especially not him. He ain't dirt. Shit. 14, the Celtics picked Romeo Langford. Romeo Langford got a bad deal in this draft process because a lot of people kept talking about things that he couldn't do offensively, and he had a broken hand the whole year. So I don't think you could, really put that much on how he looked during the season. I think that's kind of fucked up that you would do that. The kid can hoop, and I think it'll be a good pickup for Boston. Just in case Jaylen Brown or somebody wants to leave, I think he'll be able to step in with Brad Stevens being as good a coach as he is. And I know people might say, well, you didn't do that good this year. He led that team to a playoff series win. I know Oladipo was hurt, but they won the series and they actually made the playoffs. Well, toxic ass Kyrie up there stunting everybody's growth. So shout out to him. Think that's a good pickup. Fits the team. All that shit. I think that was just a good pick overall. 15, Detroit Pistons drafted Sekou Demboya. He played professionally in France. And this is just a super athletic combo forward who has a multifaceted game, okay at a lot of things, and not great at one thing. So this is just wait and see. I don't know. He's a foreign dude. 16, Orlando picked Chuma Okeke from Auburn, the guy who tore his knee in the tournament. Was probably one of the reasons why Auburn didn't get to the chip. I think he probably would have been in, a very big piece in them making it. But when healthy, the guys you got an inside-outside game, got a nice drive game, got a nice shot, and it's Orlando. Who gives a fuck? They seem like they don't give a fuck about their own franchise. So let's move on. Nickeil Alexander-Walker was a pickup for the Pelicans. Some good off-the-bench combo guard that the Pelicans can use. And he played good ball in the summer league, showed his versatility, showed his many facets in scoring, and showing that he could actually be the point for the team, which is a very, very good look. 18, the Pacers grabbed Goga Bitadze from Georgia. I don't know nothing, so I don't know that much about the dude. I know he's a big guy. He moves well, moves pretty athletic for a dude that's 7 feet 250. Moves pretty well. Got a pretty good offensive game. He was pretty good. He's a good rim protector for what I saw, because he played in some of those games that Kentucky played in the Bahamas, and he showed a pretty decent game. Can be able to protect the rim and be somebody that can flash score, flash to the basket score, which is a good look for the Pacers. Add another scorer in the bigs category that can help out, because Turner is underwhelming. 19, the Spurs, in their classic fashion, picked Luka Šimanić from Croatia. He was pretty decent in the summer league. Yeah, Lonnie Walker was crazy in the summer league. God damn, wow. The Spurs are at it again. Shit. But Luka, he was pretty good. He played in one game at the draft combine. Showed he had good athleticism in the NBA. Plays hard, can rebound, plays some decent defense. It's the Spurs. So they only had like 3 duds since Pop has been there as far as drafts go. I can't remember the video, but I can't remember the video. Somebody put out a video of DeJounte Murray's coming back, and that's one of the key players that nobody's talking about for a team that could really, he could do a lot for the squad. And they were going over how well the Spurs have drafted, and they've done a great fucking job at it. So until he's buns, it's a good pickup. 20, the 76ers, who knew they was going to spend some money in this free agency, picked up Matisse Thybulle from Washington. This guy can lock the fuck down. Great athlete, can play the fuck out of some defense. He averaged 2 blocks and 2. He had 2 blocks and 2+ steals a game. That's what he averaged, and he was the best defensive player in college basketball. So he's got the skill set in which you're gonna have to play him. 21, the Grizzlies grabbed Brandon Clark. Good pickup. I know people say he got short arms and you think he's going to be Tyus Thomas part 2. I don't see it. He plays hard. So he's only the 6'8" power forward, but he plays real hard. He goes in. All out effort. Kid can hoop. Some good athleticism. Probably looking at another Kenyon Martin. That's something I can, he has a real comparable game too. But the kid can hoop. And Memphis did a good job. I could say, shout out to him. 22, the Celtics picked Grant Williams, power forward from Tennessee. I guess he could be the off-the-bench big man scorer to match the off-the-bench scoring from Romeo Langford. I don't know. But Grant Williams played good at Tennessee, but I don't see him fitting in well for the Celtics. Strong dude, can rebound, can score on the block. Got a nice little jump shot on him. But I don't see how he fits with the Celtics. 23, OKC grabbed Darius Bazley, who just did an internship this past season for Puma because he signed with Rock Nation. He did not play last year at all. He decided not to go to college. That was his thing last year. He trained for the draft and worked as an intern at Puma. I don't see how this guy got drafted in the first round. I'm sorry. He was a great high school basketball player, one of the top 20, which is, if you figure how many kids play high school basketball and how many are good, for you to be in the top 20 means you got some kind of sauce. So the kid can play. And he probably would have been a good look at Syracuse outside of that dumbass zone defense that they refused to let go of. But I don't know. I don't know how he fits. I don't know what OKC is doing. Sam Presti, you falling, bro. At 24, Ty Jerome was picked up by the Suns. Did he end up actually going? We might have fucked up the church's money doing that. Yeah, all right. Ty Jerome is a good defensive point guard. He can facilitate. And he can hit a shot every now and again. Like, his shot died a little bit during the season, but it's a good look for Phoenix. You need point guards, and you picked a player that fits your team very well. 25, Nasir Little to the Portland Trail Blazers. Man, I don't know what happened to Nasir Little. He had a bad year in North Carolina, but I did not see that coming, and I did not see him falling this far in the draft. He was known as a lottery pick from the way too early mock drafts of last year all the way up to the draft. I thought he was going to go in the lottery. Like, I thought he would get drafted before P.J. Washington. This is the pick I thought that the Charlotte Hornets were going to make. But this is the big kid, small forward, what is he, 6'8", 6'7", 220, supremely athletic. And he showed a couple of times in the tournament that, he can play. And that's a good pickup by Portland, because if he stinks, you can just get rid of him. You already got a good team. This is like one of those good picks. If he stinks, you get rid of him. If he's good, just put him in the starting lineup and put him together with the sauce that you already have. At 26, the Cleveland Cavaliers grabbed Dylan Windler from Belmont. I don't know shit about him. I just know the kid can shoot. I don't know what the fuck Cleveland is thinking, so I'll just move on from there before shit gets even worse. 27, the Clippers picked up Mafundu Kamajili from Florida State, power forward. I don't know how the hell he was on the bench at Florida State, because he came off the bench and he was putting in work. He's a mobile big man who can shoot and is athletic. He got game. I thought maybe because he was coming off the bench, somebody thought something was wrong, but he was a good pickup for the Clippers. Played good in the summer league. Showed you everything that you needed to see. He can score. He can rebound. He can play some defense. Jerry West is showing his ass at over there at the Clippers. I get into that some bitch a little later, but Jerry, you showing your ass nowadays. 28, the Warriors picked Jordan Poole from Michigan, shooter, to go along with a team that's known for shooting. Ain't no need to go no further than that. 29, the Spurs picked Keldon Johnson from Kentucky, small forward. I thought Keldon Johnson was going to be the player that was going to lead Kentucky, because every year Kentucky has a leader and a guy that's going to be the lottery pick and, shows his ass off. Now, he underwhelmed. Like, he has all the physical attributes. He plays hard. Good defender. Got a good drive game. Competitive rebounder. Not a good shooter. Real streaky with the shot. And his release is kind of slow. But I really just didn't see him sliding that far, because he's tough. I mean, he's a streaky shooter, which means he will hit them every now and again. So that's good. Has a good drive game, and he plays hard. This is a better look for the Spurs, and just shows just how saucy of a draft team that they have, is that you let him fall this far, and now he goes to a team where he could possibly really be something. And it's the Spurs. So if he turns out to be good, they will flip him for some assets. So it's just a good pick. It's just what the Spurs do. And the last pick from Cleveland, they grabbed Kevin Porter Jr. So you already grabbed Darius Garland, who's ball dominant. You already have Colin Sexton, who's ball dominant. You still have Jordan Clarkson, who's ball dominant. You grabbed the boy from Belmont only because he could shoot. And now you add another ball dominant player. This is a horrible fit. But I like Kevin Porter Jr. as a player. I was hoping throughout the whole draft process that he would impress the Hornets so we could pick him. They didn't. They let him fall all the way to the end of the round. And I think it must be something that happened because he got suspended at USC because he had gotten to it with the coaches or something like that, and they just sat him. They just didn't play him at all. It wasn't even an NCAA violation. Something happened. But this is the kid in the classic Seattle guard mode. A guy who got handles, streaky shooter, but he get buckets. He got Baby Crawford in him. He got the DeJounte with better scoring. Like, we know how players at Washington get down from the state of Washington. The Seattle boys, they get buckets, and this is what he does. Not efficiently as you want him to, but that'll come with time if you work with him. But he's, 6'6", 215, real shit, a great athlete. I seen him do drop step dunks and off that shit. I seen him do some crazy shit on 1 feet and 2 feet. He's a great athlete. And I seen him do work in the post. But he's undisciplined. He's not a great decision maker, and he only plays defense when he feels like it. But still, somebody that I wish that was on Charlotte. Really wish that it went down that way, and it didn't. That's the draft. And then the next podcast, what I'll be doing is doing a way too early mock draft. Not a way too early mock draft. I'm going to give you 10 players that I'll be looking for. Of course, I'll be looking at more than 10, but I'll give you 10 that I'll be zeroing in on that I think will either make some noise in college or, be somebody that you should look for in the draft process. Now we got to go to this wild-ass offseason. God damn, the NBA was on some shit. I'm going to go team by team in alphabetical order, and that's just what it is. Chandler Parsons to the Hawks. I wish I gave a fuck. Boston picked up Canner, who is a rebounder and a post scorer. If you give him the ball, he going to get that bucket in the post. He stinks on defense. So the fact that you lost Al Horford, which I'll get to, isn't a good look. But, you picked up some of his scoring and his rebounding at least. And they picked up Kemba Walker. I think this will kind of be, it looks like they grabbed another Kyrie. That's what it looks like. But at the end of the day, we don't know what it will be with Boston. Will he be more of a facilitator? Will he be more willing to pass? I know he will be because he's been playing in Charlotte and all that mediocrity because he hasn't had the talent at Charlotte that he'll have at Boston. Jason Tatum, even though he slumped in his second year, I think he still can get a bucket. He's still a good player. Jaylen Brown, the same thing. It's still hoopers there. So I think it'll work out pretty good with Kemba. Brooklyn showed their ass. It was already reported that they was going to get Kyrie. They had been talking about them getting Kyrie as soon as free agency was amongst it. As soon as the season was over and people would start talking free agency, Kyrie had already showed his hand, I guess. But not only did they get Kyrie, they got Kevin fucking Durant. And I know a lot of people don't think that Brooklyn, they will be short the first year. If they make the playoffs, it'd be pretty good. They should be able to. They got the talent and all that other stuff. They only lost D'Angelo Russell. They still got Jared Allen, Karis LeVert, Spencer Dinwiddie. They still got a squad. So, adding Kyrie there should be all right. Don't know why they picked up. DeAndre Jordan was probably a buddy pass for Kevin Durant because you don't really need him because you already have his younger version in Jared Allen. No need to pay somebody. It's bullshit when you already got the younger version who already saucing in these streets. But with Durant, no, he won't be playing next year. But even with the Achilles injury, has had a long history of people not being able to get over it. Kevin Garnett is just, he's that good of a scorer that, damn it, it will work. I think it will. I think he will be fine when he comes back because of his scoring abilities. Kevin Durant can get a bucket. He doesn't really depend a whole lot on his athleticism. So I think he'll be fucking fine. I don't see any problem with him in the near future because, the guy can hoop. So there will be a tear when he comes back. Charlotte picked up Terry Rozier. I like Terry Rozier. Terry Rozier can hoop. But for that to be the only move, that's I'll move on. The Bulls picked up Satoransky from the Wizards. Now, I'm not just saying this because Paul's my homie, but I do like Satoransky as a consummate point guard, a nice distributor. 6'7", can see over the floor, got the dish, got a drive game. I don't know how he gets around people, but he does it. And he's a better fit at point guard than Kobe White. And I like the move. Cleveland didn't do shit. Probably still paying LeBron. Derrick Rose signed a 2-year deal with the Pistons. I just hope wealth and health for Derrick Rose, man. You got robbed of your, you got robbed of your prime. The Pacers signed Malcolm Brogdon, which is nice for the Pacers. You lost Bogdanovich, but you bring in somebody else who can score and run the point and be a defensive catalyst beside Victor Oladipo. Really making it real difficult for backcourts to, get funky out there. The Heat signed, what's the boy name? Jimmy Butler. I knew Jimmy was going to go to a team where he could be the man and where everybody would have to be accountable for. You're not going to not play defense. That was Spoelstra and Pat Riley there. The shit just not going to go down. You're going to have to play defense. You're going to play hard. He's not going to have the same problems in Miami that he had with the T-Wolves. There are no young boys getting paid an absurd amount of money and not performing to his liking. So Jimmy, I think, is a good team. I think they will make the playoffs because Jimmy, he's a great player. He's one of the best players in the league, top 10 easily. And every team he goes to, he affects them for better. The Bucks, they re-signed Middleton, which they needed. They re-signed Lopez, which they needed. They picked up Brook Lopez's brother Robin to help at the center for that defensive shit off the bench. Because you really needed somebody at the rim when Toronto was going at y'all ass. Re-signed George Hill. And signed Wesley Matthews, which can add to more of the three-point bombs that they will be continuing to do. The Knicks grabbed every power forward possible. They grabbed Julius Randle, Bobby Portis, Taj Gibson. They also, to get away from that trend, they grabbed Elfrid Payton, who wasn't healthy. He probably could have had a decent year with the Pelicans, but he was hurt. And Elfrid Payton, what people don't realize is that he's young. I think he's like the age of like a second-year player, because I think he graduated college early. I think he was like 18 when he got drafted, and that was after playing 2 or 3 years. He's young for how long he's been in the league. Let me check and see what his age is right now. That's what we get with the Ghetto Podcast, baby. We check shit right in the middle of it, and you ain't even gotta wait that long because Elfrid is just a name that could just. Yeah, he's only 25 and he's been in the league for a minute. He got drafted in 24. Yeah, he got drafted 4 years ago. So he's right on the cusp as if he was like a one and done. I think he's a good defender and a good facilitator. Maybe he'll be a better shooter since he cut that quail shit off the front of his head. But I don't think they should have grabbed this many players. Like Portis, you're not going to be able to play him beside Randall. Maybe you could play Gibson beside him, but Gibson's giving up a lot of height playing center. But I don't know what the Knicks are doing. I'll just leave that at that. The Magic brought back Vucevic, a.k.a. Vucci Man, which he turned himself into an all-star, or an all-star caliber player on the East. So shout out to him, man. Do your thing, man. Nobody knows what the fuck the Magic are doing. Get that bag while they out here trying to figure that shit out. Philly made moves. They kept Tobias Harris, easy 20-point score. They picked up Al Horford. That's a defensive front court for your ass. And not only is Horford good as a defender, he can flip-flop between centers and power forwards. He also is good in pick and pop situations. If you leave him open, he can hit that shit. He can also do some post work. I know that's part of the past, and a lot of teams don't like doing all that post work and shit like that. But if you give him the ball, he can get you a bucket, and I think that was great. They did the sign and trade for Jimmy Butler, so they picked up Josh Richardson. Nice. That's a nice lineup between Ben Simmons, Josh Richardson, Tobias Harris, Al Horford, and Embiid. That's a hell of a lineup. Philly, you doing your thing. Shout out to you. Toronto didn't do shit. If he's healthy, Isaiah Thomas going to the Wizards is a good look. If not, that's a real give a fuck. The Mavericks re-signed the Poison God, and they picked up a nice undercover pick in Seth Curry because he can come off the bench and give you buckets because he showed while he played with Portland. Not only can he be the guy handling the ball, he can be a lead guard. He also showed that he can play some off ball too and let that pretty shot go. Jamal Murray signed an extension with the Nuggets. Got to keep your star. As you moving forward, y'all got a chance to make some fucking noise in this league, so got to make it happen. The Warriors signed D'Angelo Russell, Willie Cauley-Stein. That's pretty much all they pretty much got. Willie Cauley-Stein is pretty much a run to the rim runner, nice on pick and rolls, very athletic. He don't block shots for shit. I don't understand how he can be that tall and athletic and not block shots. He just doesn't do it. But the Russell is nice. It's a nice pickup for the Warriors because it works either way. He shows that he can play beside Curry, and both of them have the ability to play on ball and off ball, run around some screens, curls, and flexes, and get their shots up. But if it doesn't work, you can trade them. You can trade them at the trade deadline, and you can still do your thing. The Rockets picked up fucking Russell Westbrook. They traded Chris Paul. It's a slew of draft picks. And they picked up Russell Westbrook. Now, a lot of people are talking about how many picks that OKC has picked up. And they're liking that to Oakland. Come on, man. You saw the picks that Oakland had. And you saw what they picked up. No blockbusters. Like, they picked up decent players that I think can contribute to the team. But when you picked up Farrell, when you could have picked up Ed Oliver. You picked up Josh Jacobs. I like Josh Jacobs. He was a part of the mock, so I ain't going to say that. But you could have picked up a Greedy Williams. It was other players that could have been picked up with those picks. We do not know what the Pelicans going to do with those picks. A lot of them motherfuckers' picks are in a draft that we don't even know who the prospects are. That's how long that shit is. That's how long ago that shit is. And on top of that, they're like unprotected picks. So with the Rockets adding Russell Westbrook, they'll be a playoff team. So how high is that damn pick going to be? And the same thing with the Clippers, with the picks they got for them for the move that they made. The Clippers are going to make the playoffs. Those are going to be high-ass picks. So unless you go grab somebody from the Spurs as your scout, we don't even know if the shit going to be that saucy. But the Rockets pick up Russell Westbrook. Him and Harden are cool. So, I mean, there's going to be some moments that they'll have where, each one wants the ball and shit of that nature and things like that. But both of those guys are good. They're top 5 players in the league, regardless of your list or who's picking. And I think it'll work for the most part. They will have times where they're cold and both of them are shooting 0 for 20 plus, 20 plus shots put up and, still single digits and makes. There will be times that both of them could put up an easy 40 on your ass. So I think it'll work out. And with Mike D'Antoni's scheme with a lot of running, they still kept Gordon and PJ Tucker and Capella. So, to say they're the playoffs is not a stretch. They will be a playoff team. How far they go in the playoffs, I don't know. Now, the offseason winners, the LA Clippers, they traded for Paul George, and they grabbed Kawhi. Now, this is the funny shit with Kawhi. Okay. Everybody was talking about him going to the Lakers. It even got to the point that people thought it was just a race between the Raptors and the Lakers. And ironically, he picked the team that nobody was saying shit about. The team was just as quiet as he is, which makes sense. I'm going to be up there. Which is crazy. It makes a whole lot of sense that the team that ain't said shit and Jerry West, who put together the grit grind Memphis Grizzlies, when Memphis was at their highest, you can't say they weren't hooping. He was a part of that. He was a part of the Lakers bringing over Paul Gasol. No, he was at Memphis throwing them niggas a bone. I'm sorry. But he put together the Laker team with Kobe, and Shaq, and Fisher and all them. He the one that got rid of Eddie Jones and Nick Van Exel so Shaq and Kobe can be the only ones to shine. He was a part of that. He was a part of what the Warriors put together. Even if you don't look at Durant, he was a part of drafting Curry, part of drafting Thompson, part of drafting Draymond Green, picking up free agents like Sean Livingston, David West, and Andre Iguodala. Like, he made those moves. Like, that's what he does. And with this one, I mean, and they re-signed Beverly, so we talking about the backcourt. That shit, the perimeter is gonna be on lock. So it ain't even no need to go no further than that one. The Clippers gonna be sauce. Then we got the Lakers. They signed Danny Green. Who gives a fuck, man? To be honest with you, it's the Anthony Davis trade. LeBron got Anthony Davis there. The GM strikes again. The Lakers going to be a good team. See how far they can take it. See if they can mesh well. The Lakers are on just some wait-and-see type shit. But they got a squad. The only thing that could really fuck them up from making a run in the playoffs is Frank Vogel. Because Frank Vogel couldn't overcome LeBron, so I guess he figured he'd join the mob. Valanciunas re-signed with the Grizzlies. They got Iguodala, but I think they cut Iguodala. They waived Bradley and Avery Bradley, which is a good pickup because he's the 3-and-D player for a good 3-and-D player, and he went to the Lakers. So the Lakers made some good moves, man. Yeah. The T-Wolves, the Pelicans picked up another good pick, which I thought was real undercover, like a real underrated pickup, J.J. Redick. You got these young boys running athleticism and all that shit. People going to be crashing to try to stop them. And who will be open? But your basic white guy, as my dad calls him. And he's been able to show that he can shoot thus far, playing all these years, showing his worth. I like to pick up the Suns made for Ricky Rubio. You need the point guard, you got a point guard. Pass first guy who can play defense. You good. The Blazers picked up Hassan Whiteside. If he wants to play, it's a good pickup. And the worst pickup, or the worst re-sign of the whole damn off season. This is funny because the Kings re-signed Harrison Barnes, and it's a good pick. It's a bad pickup because you paid him that much money to be mediocre. He was part of the reason why y'all couldn't make that run, so y'all can get that 8th spot. But you also signed Trevor Ariza. Why sign Harrison Barnes? Well, you can get Trevor Ariza, he's a better defender than Harrison Barnes. He's a better shooter than Harrison Barnes. And he costs less. So just use that to your advantage, please. You don't need to pay Harrison Barnes all this damn money for nothing. Ugh. And the Jazz, which made some fucking moves out this bitch. They traded Mike Conley to the Jazz picked up Mike Conley in the trade, signed Bogdanovich from the Pacers, and they got a squad. And speaking of the Jazz, their favorite signed with the Pelicans, so they have a big man anchor just in case the Zion shit don't work and just in case he get hurt. They got a guy who can give you 20 and 10, so that was a good pickup from the Pelicans, along with Reddick. But the Jazz got Bojan Bogdanovich. And because power forwards aren't like they used to be as far as size and their playing ability, you could play both him and Joe Ingles in your starting lineup. Or if you want them to come off the bench, hey, that's up to you. But I really do like this pickup. And Conley, come on, man. Conley can get buckets. He can defend. He can dish. He's a real complete player. And I think it would help with the growth of Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell does not have to take the burden of holding the ball all damn game. And a pick and roll with Conley and Rudy Gobert, nothing but that sauce. With the shooters around it, oh man! And I think with Quinn Snyder being a good coach, I think they should really get some respect. I think they should be in a conversation of teams that can not just make noise in the West. I would not be surprised if they made it to the conference finals or the NBA finals. I would not be surprised. With his coaching and that team and the way it's built up, I'm not surprised. That's just how I see it. That's just what it is. I like everything they have going for them. And shout out to my boy Joe, what they call him, Black Man Smoking Joe. I like the team. I like the moves. I like all the shit that they did. And shit can only get better. That's the way I'm going to put it. So that's been What the Fuck Is A reborG podcast. I'm back. We on this shit. The shit will get more consistent. Not a guarantee. That's just what the fuck gonna happen. I'm back on my shit. I'm done with the bullshitting. Shit is getting right back in order. I got this little fucked up thing that happened that I'll be able to get through, and I'm back. Like, for real. This is the shit. We on it. Episodes won't be as long as this because I won't be taking breaks as long as this. So, as always, appreciate you for watching. Do whatever, man. Like, comment, subscribe. I don't give a fuck. Just whatever you do to enjoy this shit, you do it. And as always, be easy and be you.